Art therapy combines psychotherapy and the creative process of art making, and it's been around since 1940s. It has helped a lot of people understand their feelings and their thoughts, and also helps support people dealing with anxiety, trauma, depression, and other mental health issues. But the question is, will art therapy work for you? Hi, my name is Pearl. I'm an art therapist, a registered psychotherapist, and a co-founder of Full Circle Art Therapy Center. Today I want to answer the question, will art therapy work for you? Now, as a health practitioner, I'm not able to guarantee 100% that it will work for you, but I can speak from my experience of about almost 10 years of practicing art therapy. So 5 years as a student art therapist and for almost 5 years as a professional art therapist, facilitating workshops, group art therapy, individual art therapy. And I myself have also been in art therapy sessions as well. So why would I say art therapy work for you? So if you're someone who have said, oh, I'll understand it better when I can see it, then art therapy will probably work for you. Because this is one of the foundation of art therapy, is just being able to draw out what's in our head onto a piece of paper. When we can see it in our piece of paper, we're better separated from who we are. Now, let's say for anxiety, a lot of times when we've been experiencing anxiety for a very long time, it's very likely that we'll start identifying ourselves as an anxious person or anxiety is me. So when we're able to draw it out, we can see that, okay, there's a difference. And we are not our anxiety, and anxiety is not us. And when we can separate it, it's easier for us to understand it better, to build compassion and acceptance around them. So we can actually learn how to befriend the anxiety so it can work with us as opposed to against us. So this could look like, drawing out anxiety as an energy sketch, or my favorite is to draw anxiety out as a character. So when we're drawing a character, gives it a personality so we can understand it a bit better and we can communicate it with it better. And secondly, all humans have a natural disposition to creativity. I feel a lot of times people think creativity is something that's grand masterpiece, with very detailed techniques, or just something so wow, you've never seen before. But creativity literally just means bringing into existence that something wasn't there before. So it's just putting our thoughts and our feelings onto a piece of paper, and that's us creating it. I mean, look at children. They have no problem picking up colors, picking out, crayons, and just start going at it. So if you're telling yourself that, oh, I'm not a creative person, maybe consider that is just a disconnect with your creativity, because as we grow up, we need to access our logical brains to help us solve problems, to help deal with daily life, more so than creativity. Or maybe we feel that we need to be more logical as opposed to channel our creativity. So we have different exercise that we can help, to just start a little warm up, with getting to know the art materials first, and then getting into different art directive. And sometimes we do have, more elaborate art directive, maybe it involves a few different steps, where we can help build up the layer, build up the piece of artwork with us. But sometimes I literally have clients who will come in and will just draw a patch of colors, and that's more than enough to work with. Because when we see that patch of colors, we can understand more what the color means to you, how does it feel when you see it, and what else would you like to add on to it. So just small patches of color is more than enough to work with. And thirdly, most often or not, it is always worse in our head than what it actually is in real life, because this is our natural survival system that we have, that our mind will go to thinking the worst case scenario sometimes, so that it will prepare us for what's to come. So when we're able to draw it helps ground us in the reality and ground us in the present. And this is actually one of the wow factor in my own mental health journey as well. I was told by my therapist that I need to be with my feelings more. And when they told me that, it's really weird. I was like, what do you mean to be with my feelings? So when I went to an art therapy session, my art therapist was like, well, start by drawing it out. And I did. And I have to admit, it wasn't comfortable in the beginning, it was a little uncomfortable looking at it, but at the same time I felt a relief because it's something that's just out of my head now. I've been thinking about it for such a long time, and now I can finally see it. And when that happens, the power dynamic between me and my emotion shifted, because the unknown can be scary, but when we actually make what's in our head the unknown known, the power dynamic shifts, where we're kind of more on the equal playing field, where I have a better understanding of what I want to do with my emotion, how I can care for it, and how we can work together. Now, why would art therapy not work? Number one, I find it's the willingness and the openness to try art therapy. I see this kind of like window shopping versus trying on your clothes. When you go window shopping, you're just looking at it, and you're building an idea of how it will fit in your body. Now let's say you know your body type, and you're looking at that piece of garment, you're like, oh, that cut will not fit me, and that color is not good for me as well. So we're building all these preconceived notions of whether it will work or it won't work. But when we actually try it on, we're able to have more, be able to have the felt sense of the textile, how it feels with us. We can actually see it. We can able to do a little spin in the changing room and see how it looks like in different corner, in different perspective. So I find this is the difference between just trying it out. So when you come to the art therapy session, trying to be more open, like being more open and just giving yourself grace with this process was really, really helpful. Next is the trust and the chemistry between your therapist. I think this works with both art therapy and therapy. Being able to feel that you can trust the therapist is very important, because the therapeutic alliance is the foundation for any growth and for any healing. So we do, and I think a lot of therapists offer 15-minute free consultation. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of that, because it's a great time for you to get to know the therapist. You can also ask for virtual if you want to, because sometimes it might be nice to see how they talk, what their mannerism is like. So within those 15 minutes, ask them questions. If it could be personal questions, it could be professional questions, but I feel it's a good time for you to get to know them a little bit. And I totally understand, with therapy, especially in individual therapy, group therapy can be a little bit cheaper, but with individual therapy, art therapy, there is of course financial and time commitment. And most of the times I'll say it takes about 4 to 6 sessions, for us to know that we're a good fit. So I do understand the hesitation, but really take advantage of those 15-minute consultation. I think that itself can give you a very good idea of how it will work and what does it feel like, to work with that therapist. And next is the expectation of how therapy will go. Sometimes you can feel very good leaving the session because we've just talked about something that makes a lot of sense, but sometimes you may walk away feeling worse because we've talked about something that's really important, or that's something that really hurt you in the past. So that is like a natural process of therapy, but being able to understand that is the natural flow, as opposed to it being beautiful and magical each time, will also help you have more compassion for yourself and just on your own progress. And the next one is kind of doing the work in between the sessions. So I like to give my clients some practice to do in their in between session, because I find it's like stretching for the body. When we're able to stretch it on a daily basis, our body will feel better. It's a bit more flexible, and the same to our mind. One of the practice I love asking my client to incorporate in their daily life is the safe space meditation. So it's a meditation that can help you to help let your body and let your mind know that you're safe and you're okay. And it's a particular important practice, especially for people who are dealing with anxiety, depression, PTSD, trauma, and all that, because because our brain has had this much time for them to develop a system that works to protect you. And now we are introducing this new system, to let your brain know that it's okay, like you can feel safe. So it does take consistency and regularity to make that happen. Are these practices mandatory? No, but I don't want to downplay the work. A certain amount of consistency and practice will be very helpful with their progress. So using the art to help understand ourselves and how process our emotion is a big part of it, but that's not the only part. all art therapists works with a different theoretical framework. So we do use that to give you a bit of psychoeducation about what is happening with you. I kind of see art therapy, it's just a little bit more flexible, I guess. Like we can do verbal, we can do art, we can sometimes do journaling, and we can use words, writing poems. So it's just a different avenue, to express yourself and all to understand yourself. Well, I hope that was helpful to give you a little bit understanding of why art therapy would work or wouldn't work. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, or you can set up a 15-minute consultation with me or with other art therapists to find out a little bit more on how art therapy can help you specifically. And until next time. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore, please comment below, or you can email us at info@fullcircleatc.com.